The Tudor Navy and the Armada. Social history of England. The Tudor Navy, it is the English navy which developed during the time of Tudor rule in England. It was mainly under King Henry VIII. King Henry VIII was also the person who brought Protestantism into England, as well as he is also called as the founder father of the English naval system in England. Though he put forth the naval system in England, the proper English navy was established by his daughter Elizabeth I. So before that, the exposure to sea voyage, taking big trade routes in sea were not very much in the Englishmen. They were not very ambitious to do that. During that time, some of the good sailors were Christopher Columbus and Vasco da Gama. Christopher Columbus, he is an Italian who worked under the service of a Spanish king, and in 1492 he discovered America. When he went to the southern and the northern part of America, he also found silver mines which paved to be a great increase in the treasury as well as great wealth for their country. So the trade developed there, and they were going in a very big range of competition to other fellow countries. When we speak about another one sailor, Vasco da Gama of Portuguese, in 1498 he went to Calicut to the round of Cape of Good Hope, and he actually introduced the trade into India, so which also developed the country's treasury. So all these things were going, but the English had a domestic problem to tackle, and so they could only watch these adventures with envy. They didn't participate in any sea voyage, but one man named John Corbett in 1497, he just went uh, a voyage around the Atlantic Ocean and discover Newfoundland, and for that he received just £5 from Henry VII. So that was the only voyage which was taken by the Englishmen before the naval system in England developed. The navy system in England during Henry VIII was developed in such a way where the ships were very light so that it was helpful to travel fast in the ocean, and the money which he got from the dissolution of monasteries. The monasteries in England were dissolved in a very vast rage after when England became Protestant. I have given the link for the dissolution of monasteries in England. So if you watch that, you will know why they dissolved it and what was the reason. So the money which he got from that, he also put everything that into the development of the English navy. And apart from that, Henry VIII, he had a separate government, separate place for the harbors to be placed, and again separate government to maintain all the expenditure which is utilized for the navy system in England. And the placing of cannon in the ships were placed in the broadside so that it was really helpful during the time of war. So it was taking place in a very quick range, as well as a naval war was also coming nearby. So the major naval war which the England undertook was the Spanish Armada, which we will be seeing later. But the ship which was developed was very good, and it was very nice for the first time in England history. And all the development were happening, but the end to it was because of Elizabeth, because she brought great change after the Spanish Armada, and the Englishmen were no longer willing to be as passive spectators. They started taking voyage, they started developing trade between their country and the other country, and the trade routes were developing in a very big zest, and a lot of land were captured, the colonialism were taking place, and apart from that, two great sailors of England we call as Sir Francis Drake. In 1577 to 1580 he crossed the Atlantic Ocean, entered South America, plundered all the people, and reached home with lot of jewels, with lot of treasury to add up to their country's wealth. Apart from that, we have Sir Walter Raleigh. He took 5 ships and colonized the Newfoundland, which was before found by Sir John, and discovered nearby places for centuries. So all these were taking place, and actually after the development of English Navy system, the England became a dominant country, we could say, in the world. So why did the Spanish Armada took place? Now speaking about the conflict Spanish Armada, it was mainly because of four reasons, we could say. The first one is when the Spanish ships loaded with silver and gold sailing around from the American colonies, and when they wanted to enter into Spain, they have to cross the British Channel and they have to enter. So at that time, the English pirates they plundered all their gold and silver and left the boats and the ships without anything. So this triggered the Spain King Philip to wage war against the British. Another reason is Spain was actually Roman Catholic country at that time, and in England it was a time in which Protestantism was brought in. So when Protestantism was brought into England, Philip of Sidney was not able to take it, so he wanted in England to be again Roman Catholic. So this was also one reason why he wanted to invade England. The next reason is Queen Mary, like Henry VIII brought Protestantism. After Henry VIII, it was Queen Mary I, his daughter. She again brought Roman Catholicism, the old worship system. So after Queen Mary, it was Edward the Sixth, and after Edward, it was again when Elizabeth came. She again brought the old form of worship which her father followed, which is Protestantism. So when this conflict of religion was going on, Elizabeth made a stable religion in England, which was Protestantism. This was also not able to take up by Philip of Spain. The fourth and final reason is when the Spain king he persecuted the Puritan of the Netherlands. So when this was happening, when the leader of Netherlands were also killed by the Spain king, the Netherlands people they went to Queen Elizabeth for help. So at that time, Queen Elizabeth she helped them. So this was also not able to take up by Philip. So that was a reason why he wanted to invade England. So now the Armada. So when all these things were going on, both the English as well as the Spain, both of them they were almost set for the war, and the preparation were going on for years and months in both the countries. For the English people, the Spanish fleet was expected at any moment to the British Channel, so they were being ready at any point. The day came, which was on 19th July 1588. At night, 130 ships were seen from a range of almost 7 miles, and around 20,000 people were there in that ship waging against the war. And the Spanish Armada was actually under the command of the Duke of Medina Sidonia, and the English fleet was under Sir John Hawkins. So everything was set. Actually, the plan of the Spanish uh, fleet was to go to Netherlands by passing the British Channel, and they already had some people in Netherlands. So to take people from them and again come to the British Channel and enter England to attack them. But when they passed the British Channel, the Englishmen immediately attacked them. So they didn't have any other go, but they fought for a little bit, but they managed, and they went to the coast of Calais, They stayed there at night. So at night, the English commander Sir John Hawkins he got a plan to take revenge against them at that fortnight. So he set up fire to some of the old ships that had been filled with some inflammable materials and let the wind carry them. So he just like that, they lit the ship with fire and they just sent it. So when the Spanish people, when they saw the flaming ship coming towards them, they panicked and they cut all the cables and fled in all the directions at night. So when the morning came, there were a lot of people who were wounded, lot of ships were lost, and a lot of people were died. So on the forthcoming day, the Duke of Spain he thought that no more war against the English people. At least he thought that he wanted to save the people who are there right now alive. So he took all the people of Spain right at that moment and he started his journey back to his hometown, home country. So almost 52 ships followed him and they went back to Spain. So overall, when we see the victory over the Armada for the English was a crowning success not only to England but also to the Queen Elizabeth. And after this, the English seamen they had the courage to go for big voyage into the sea, and the trade also developed, and England became a dominant country for trade and export and import after that. For the Spain, it was a drastic drawback because they were no longer able to tackle the expenditure as well as the loss of the war. They they went through a lot of difficulties after that. This Tudor Navy and Armada. After this, the Puritanism, the religion of Netherlands, also crept into England. So when Puritanism crept into England after the Armada fight, Elizabeth she was not able to bring back the uniformity of worship which was there in the country before.